Now to introduce today's speaker, Katarina Ridge. Katarina, I'm just passing the screen to you. If you could accept the invitation to present. Now, Katarina is a transdisciplinary specialist, environmental anthropologist, and indigenous research practitioner who leads Scion's restoration, protection, and Mauri o Te Wānui Atane science portfolio. She'll be talking about the inspiration for and design of the heke Myrtle Rust learning app, which I encourage you to download. And I also just want to say that it's also Te Wiki o Te Reo here in New Zealand, which is Maori Language Week. So it's really nice to be sharing this bilingual app today of all days. So Katarina, if you're all good there, please feel free to get underway.
Kia ora. Can you just confirm, Jenny, that you can see the right screen?
Yes, I can see the right screen.
Ka pai. Tēnā tātou. Ko Ngāti Rangi Wiwahi, ko Ngāti Whakaue, ko Ngā Puhi, ko Ngāti Raukawa, ko Ngāti Ranginui me te Czech Republic, ngā iwi. Nō Rotorua ahau, ko Katarina Ridge tōku ingoa, tihei mauri ora ki a tātou e honohono mai nei I tēnei rangi. Tēnei wiki o te reo Māori. Kia ora tātou, and so to start, I have a few tātai for you. Kei te mohi o koe I tēnei kaupapa, te Heka ka Heka. Do you know about Myrtle Rust? Kei te mohi o koe I ngā rākau ka Heka. Do you know what myrtle trees are? He kaitiaki tai ao, he kaitiaki ngāhere koe. Are you a kaitiaki of our tai ao o ngāhere? No mai, welcome. Today I will be sharing e heke, a tool that can help equip those interested in accessing knowledge about myrtle rust, a fungal disease affecting indigenous and exotic species of the Myrtaceae family. It is important to acknowledge all the work of researchers, scientists, kaitiaki and care groups who have been on the ground since the arrival of myrtle rust to Aotearoa in 2017. Monitoring and gathering knowledge about this invasive pathogen that has and continues to impact our myrtle species. I also acknowledge that more mahi is required in this space, given there is no clear solution to the threat this pathogen poses to our ecosystems into the future. This project is a supplementary tool grounded on myrtle rust information gathered throughout the country. But first, a little background. I'm an Indigenous researcher, social scientist and environmental planner, leading Scion's restoration, protection and Mauri o Te Wānui Atane science portfolio. This portfolio focuses on ngāhere health and research responding to climate-enhanced ecological risks. Areas of research include biodiversity, pathogens, fire, social and te ao Māori research for the intergenerational prosperity and perpetuity of ngāhere in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Framed on a te tiriti approach, the portfolio promotes both science-led and Māori-led research. While I'm not specifically conducting research on myrtle rust, as a portfolio leader, I oversee a large number of projects, including myrtle rust projects. As an Indigenous research practitioner with transdisciplinary experience, I have developed and co-developed cultural frameworks and research outputs in water, whenua, fire, climate planning, and creative outputs that typically working at the interface of modern science and mātauranga Māori. Over time, I have asked people in the community if they are aware of myrtle rust. Some say they have heard of it, but don't know what it is, and many have no knowledge about it at all. When I asked a friend, a kaiako at Kura Kaupapa, a Māori immersion school, she was unaware. However, she was more concerned that rangatahi, young people, are generally unaware of myrtle rust. She felt strongly that rangatahi should know about it, as they are kaitiaki now and into the future. Knowing that young people have the influence to share with their friends and whānau, it made sense that rangatahi should have this knowledge in their kete as they are our up-and-coming scientists and innovators. Even with no current solution to Myrtle Rust today, understanding the known science now may play a role in finding appropriate responses into the future. Scion's various Myrtle Rust projects have mana whenua partners, and this tool was also developed with them in mind. Heke, Heka is a Māori-led project supported by the Unlocking Curious Minds Fund that targets rangatahi young people to learn about and engage with science and technology. I was successful in securing funding to develop this new interactive learning app designed to empower rangatahi and community with knowledge about Myrtle Rust. With a focus on accessibility and engagement, the app combines current science information with creative and culturally relevant content, promoting te reo Māori and reo rua bilingual language options for diverse audiences. It also features Mātaihia Te Heka, our augmented reality app technology that brings myrtle tree branches to life and allows the user to explore, search for and identify Myrtle Rust on 4 different myrtle species. Rangatahi fluent in te reo Māori aged 10 to 18 visited Scion to explore and test a prototype of the app, provide our project team feedback. A baseline of Myrtle Rust understanding was collected at the start and end to see how effective the app was as an interactive learning tool. All rangatahi entered the wānanga with little to no knowledge of Myrtle Rust or knowledge of what are considered Myrtaceae species. By the end of the wānanga, all rangatahi had gained an increased awareness about Myrtle Rust and were able to explain aspects of what they had learnt with detail. When asked if the app felt like a science app, the response was no. Instead, rangatahi shared it felt like a taiao app, an environmental app. Comments about the AR app were that it felt like they were transported into the ngahere. Acknowledgements from rangatahi sharing mihi of appreciation for raising their awareness about Myrtle Rust demonstrated early that there was an interest. They, along with kaiako Māori, provided feedback with the majority incorporated to enhance the apps. Noting this pathogen is not endemic to Aotearoa, another key aspect became clear in this exercise. There was no official translation for Myrtle Rust, and it was not unusual to hear the English term Myrtle Rust used in te reo Māori settings, or to use various transliterations. So our team took up the endeavour to explore a te reo Māori description for this app. Because this app promotes the use of te reo Māori and bilingual reo rua options, it was appropriate that the project team explore a suitable description. Our approach involved wānanga with science, mātauranga Māori and mātanga reo Māori specialists to examine the characteristics of the Myrtaceae species, effects of the fungal rust, and explore linguistic whakapapa origins of flora and fauna across Polynesia. Together with te reo Māori expertise of Te Haiata Consultancy, Uanuku and Ruakiri Whewhall, we have incorporated the following kupu into the app, and I'm pleased to share them with you today. Heka connects Proto-Oceanic and Proto-Polynesian linguistic connections to a number of myrtle species and is our kupu for myrtle. Heka. In the context of Myrtle Rust, it is used as a noun, verb, and adjective, and is our kupu to reference rust, pathogen, infected, or infection. So, Heka kahika is used to describe Myrtle Rust in this app. E heke, e heka, the title of this app personifies the fungal pathogen and signifies the aspiration to minimize the spread of Myrtle Rust. A colloquial way of saying, get down Rust. And Mātaihia Te Heka, our augmented reality AR app, for Myrtle Rust identification through game-based learning, encourages exploration and learning about the rust pathogen. E ngā kaimātai explorers, welcome to e Heka. You will see movement between the te reo and English versions of the app. Tiki, our kaitiaki stick insect, takes users on a virtual ngahere journey of learning. The app includes a touch-activated audio feature for Māori text and scientific names of the myrtle species, such as Kunzea ericoides for kānuka and Ostropyxinia sirii, the science term for this fungal rust. And a double tap triggers a pronunciation guide for kupu Māori. The app doesn't just share information about myrtle rust. It explains what myrtles are, as this is not knowledge familiar to everyone. It uses illustration drawings for visual interest and real-life photos and pop-outs with information to help learn and understand more about the different kahika. And as we explore with Tiki, the app aims to educate users about Heka kahika, myrtle rust, by explaining its characteristics, origin, timeline, spread, and the physical impacts it has on plants across different seasons. The app introduces and explains relevant terms as you progress, and if users encounter unfamiliar words or terms, they can refer to the glossary in the app at any time for a simple explanation of keywords. At different intervals, the app also includes enjoyable educational games related to the topic, offering a novel approach for users to learn about and interact with science. While the primary focus is to share the currently known science, it is also hoped that cultural considerations can be explored and tailored based on the user's own traditional knowledge and or local iwi hapu mātauranga. Updates can also be made to the app as new key knowledge develops. Fast forwarding with Tiki along to the summary section, a summary of the responses to questions posed at the end of each section is provided and can be shared with kaiako, teachers, trainers, or for your own record. This app aims to work as a toolbox for sharing key pathogen, biophysical, and plant biosecurity knowledge that contributes to environmental, social, cultural, and economic impacts, as well as promoting STEM pathways. At the end of the virtual ngahere journey, users have the opportunity to review what they've learnt by replaying the educational games, and for iOS users, there's a link to our additional AR, augmented reality feature app. Mātaihia te Heka. This app focuses on applying knowledge from the app through gamified augmented reality. The AR feature enables users to examine 4 myrtle species up close to find and detect myrtle rust, which may inspire the user to apply these skills in their taiao, increasing kaitiakitanga and citizen science. AR as a tool for plant health has been a vision I have had for some time. Animating the trees to foster awareness, igniting curiosity, while reducing access barriers and promoting connection or reconnection with ngahere. It has been really fun to see rangatahi, adults and scientists enjoy this technology and activity. So the significance of the app extends beyond its educational value, as it promotes te ao Māori approaches and leadership with scientific inquiry and impact. Led by Māori and supported by scientific expertise, the project embodies a collaborative approach to knowledge sharing and environmental kaitiakitanga and stewardship. This app provides increased accessibility to empower our rangatahi, Māori and community to be informed as active explorers, kai mātai and kaitiaki. We were honoured to launch this app with Te Rangi Haka Haka, Pukeroa o Ruawhata, Rotorua Primary and Whakarewarewa schools. Just a shout out there to Taiawhio Briers, who's photographed with myself, was a huge contribution and played a critical role in helping translate and transfer the science to our targeted audiences. Also, a special shout out to Dr. Michael Bartlett, our key scientist in this project, a pathogen, ecology and control scientist. His research focuses on the evolutionary ecology and management of Ostropoccinia, and he also works alongside Dr. Stuart Fraser. They both led the Beyond Myrtle Rust Pathogen Reproductive Dynamics theme, and they've contributed to various projects with internal science staff and collaborating with the wider Myrtle Rust science community. Tauira students at the launch were guided through the basics of the app and then had the opportunity to explore the apps. Most students had not heard about Myrtle Rust and said they didn't know it could be in their backyard or ngahere, that the app presented information in a more interactive way and that it was good for learning different kupu words. Kaiako liked how the app was accessible and contextual, and that Tauira students became the scientists and can exercise kaitiakitanga in their ngahere. One kaiako shared, "Our students are very keen on everything to do with te taiao and science. So this type of app brings all those things together for us. And having the option of te reo Māori and English connects with our tamariki, whether they're in kura kaupapa, whether they're in mainstream classes, and that it was an awesome app to be a part of." From the virtual ngahere experience to the lab, rangatahi enjoyed suiting up and interacting at workstations where they got more hands-on action with our Myrtle Rust scientists and Te Rata Whakamaru, Science Jobs for Nature Myrtle Rust team members. It was a great day for the rangatahi and a great boost for our team who worked hard to get to this point. While this project was initially funded to develop a Myrtle Rust app connecting with 3 kura, the app technology can reduce accessibility barriers, making this tool available to a much wider audience. While the age is targeted to 12 and above, we hope that this app is applicable to ages 8 to 80. We have produced promotional information in both te reo Māori and English. We're excited to share this tool directly with schools through the new House of Science Forest Health Kit, an amazing collection of various ngahere tools and activities available to their 700 registered schools. These kits will be both in English and te reo Māori. We look forward to hosting House of Science for their launch at Scion in the near future, and additionally, my portfolio has sponsored 2 extra kits, one for the Bay of Plenty and one for Western Bay areas. If you're interested in sponsoring a kit, please contact House of Science. This project was made possible with the funding from Curious Minds and brought to life by the team at Kiwa Digital. A special shout out to Jacob McGregor for the translations, our rangatahi focus group and our participating kura. And also to Beyond Myrtle Rust and the team that keeps this kōrero continuing for inviting me along today. Further acknowledgements, references, and links to other key Myrtle Rust tools can be found in the app. Nō reira, kei ngā kaimātai, please feel free to download and explore e heke, e heka. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Thank you so much, Katerina. This is such a neat initiative. I love what you've done, and it's also just so nice to see that there's been such great uptake. If anybody has any questions, if you could pop them up in the chat panel, I can start asking questions. Have you been able to track yet whether the app has been where the app has been uploaded from? Has it just been from the schools and from the initiatives where you've gone along, or has it been uploaded more widely, do you think?
After the launch, we were fortunate to have quite a good reach in media interest. So I think based on that, the awareness of the app did get some visibility. So the last check that we did as a team and as to how many downloads we've had was across the 3 platforms. So the iPhone, iOS, and Android, we've had over 1,000 downloads.
Great. Well, you now have at least 1,001 because I did download it today. And I hope that all of you attendees have also downloaded it today. I also have a question here. Have you had a lot of usage or downloads of the Tereo version? Are you able to see if people are using the Tereo side of the app, or is it just, can you only see the whole app?
That's a really good question. I haven't looked at that detail, but I'm now very curious. I will check into that specifically to see if users are using the Tereo one, if that's possible. The app doesn't track any data, so I'm not too sure, but because it's the Tereo version is integrated into the main app, I'm not sure that we can fully determine that. Good question.
Yeah. And then do you have any scope to expand this, or is there any hope for a future update as we get more information either about our myrtles or about the research itself?
So yeah, the app is can be updated at any time. So we do hope that there could be a new chapter and a new phase that Tiki journeys through to understand or explore new learnings and new findings as they emerge. So absolutely, there's ways to update this app quite easily, and also I guess potential for other similar apps that could be sharing different science aspects around our ngahere.
And do you have any advice for people who are looking to develop a bilingual either science app or kaitiaki style app?
I think it all depends on the kaupapa. Is it targeted to specific locations or rohe? For this app, we tried to make it really a wide reach for Aotearoa. And so doing that, you certainly have to take into consideration that, you know, being quite specific in localized areas was not the target here. So I think there's certainly different ways you could approach it, and yeah, I mean, I'm happy to support or have a chat with people who are interested in this. The kind of scoping out that I did prior showed that there really is no other app that is presenting science in this way for generally or specifically for rangatahi. Yeah, so it's kind of a new area, at least that I've seen.
Neat. Great. Well, that's all the questions we have for today. So just again, thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Katerina. A video of today's webinar will be made available on the Beyond Myrtle Rust website in the next few days. It will also be emailed to everyone who registered. Our next webinar will be Wednesday, the 23rd of October at 11 a.m. New Zealand time. And we'll hear from Christy Stevenson, a research associate at Queensland University of Technology, about the attributes of forest communities that may make them more vulnerable to myrtle rust impacts. So keep a lookout for that webinar invite next month. Thanks everyone, harira, and see you next time.